Now, as I look in the Oxford English Dictionary, there is an eighth sense. So the first sense was about a native of Greece, and the second was an adherent of the Greek church, all the way down to item number 8, the eighth sense. There is also now a heathen Greek and a Hebrew Greek. So you say, well, what is a Hebrew Greek? Well, let me ask a question. Do we have any Croatian Canadians? I think we have a Croatian Canadian.
We have one.
We have one
with us today.
We have one Croatian Canadian with us today. Do we
Yes,
have
you do.
any? Yeah, I know. I think we just heard from our Croatian Canadian. Do we have any
Yes,
Italian American? Any Italian Americans?
We have Mr. B.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. B is here.
Yes.
Phil.
Italian
Yeah.
Canadian. Italian Canadian.
He's an Italian Canadian.
Yeah.
Mike and Carolyn, they're
I'm
well,
Italian.
you guys aren't just Carolyn, I guess. It's just Carolyn,
Just
the
Carol.
Italian
Yeah,
American.
just me.
I'm
Yeah.
Irish,
Just Carol.
mostly
Okay.
Irish.
And an Irish. So
Yeah.
we got an Irish and an Italian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, how did that marriage survive?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
You get the idea.
Okay.
You get
All
the
right.
idea.
So that's why now this term, a Hebrew Greek, should not be difficult to understand. These are Hebrews by ethnicity, just as Zdenka is Croatian by ethnicity, but her culture has now changed to Canadian. So we have Hebrews who are living in the style of the Greeks. So this is important to understand because the word Greek shows up. People in Bible are spoken of as being a Greek. Now, Hebrew in the Oxford English Dictionary, this is interesting, of the Hebrew, historically, the term is used applied to the early Israelite. So Hebrew was of the early Israelites. In modern use, according to the OED, in modern use, it avoids the religious associations attaching to the word Jew. So what is a Hebrew? Well, that's the Hebrews were the ones that came out of Egypt. Interesting. Abraham, what was Abraham? Abraham was a Hebrew. Was Abraham ever referred to as a Jew? No, there's no reference of Abraham being a Jew. And in fact, when Israel, the nation, when the nation was born in the wilderness, they were the Hebrews. They were the Hebrew people, and it wasn't until they became religious that then there was the adherence of the word Jew. So this is the Jews' religion. Now, the use of the word Hebrew avoids religious associations attached to the word Jew. So what would be a religious association? Circumcision, for instance. So one can be a Hebrew, but they're not necessarily a Jew unless they're circumcised.